Hello, and welcome to the Floor of Suffering, where we try to make a video for 2 hours and then die. I am your host, Girl Who Never Changes Her Shirt, and today we are attempting to film, for like the 4th time, my April 2018 manga haul. So, let's just get started. Let's just dive right into the madness, because we have a lot to do, and I need to get through it as fast as I possibly fucking can. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's get into a nice, comfortable sitting position, put my finger right up in the camera, and chase all my viewers away. Anyway, first thing that I have is just Volume 4 of Full Metal Panic, which is just for a space that I needed to fill. I didn't have Volume 4, but I had the rest of the series, so this way I could finally actually start reading Full Metal Panic. My cat is trying to get into my closet right now, and I hate it. Next up we have Monthly Girls and Nozaki-kun, Volume 9. We have waited a good long while for one of these, and we finally have Volume 9, and now we get to wait another good long while until Volume 10 eventually comes out. But yeah, this is always a good time, always a fun 4-koma comedy about manga making. Very nice, and I like it. Next up we have Murcielago, Volume 6, always a crazy fun adventure. Sometimes with like some lesbian shit going on, and definitely there's some lesbian shit going on with the two characters on this volume's cover. Trust me, it gets very explicit, as does most of this manga, so if you do not like explicit stuff, why are you reading Volume 6 of Murcielago? Next up is something that I wanted to try out, take for a little spin, because I was interested, but I put off, like, binging, buying the rest of the whole series. I just wanted to take a little taste. And that would be, Karakuri Odette, Volume 1. I haven't read it yet, but I'm really interested. It's, like, about a robot girl who attends, like, human school and starts to get, like, interested in humans or something. But anyway, this is Volume 1, and I can't wait to see if I like this manga or not, because the rest of the series is pretty easy to acquire. And yeah, there's that. Next up we have the long-awaited Love at 14, Volume 7. These take like a year to come out, so if you like romance and waiting forever, Love at 14 is the manga for you. Next up we have The Promise of Neverland, Volume 3. Stuff definitely picks up after Volume 2, which was kind of like a low point in the beginning. But Volume 3 definitely picks right the fuck back up, which is very nice. Don't want to regret having bought it. Next we have Maiden Abyss, Volume 3, which, reader beware, there's an image on like the inside cover of the back. I cannot show you because it's really inappropriate, because it has a little girl in a very compromising situation, and she is topless, and I'm pretty sure she's naked. And it was not a fun time discovering that. It wasn't a fun time at all. I mean, Maiden Abyss, good story. Love it. Did not love the child nudity. What the fuck? What the fuck? Next up we have 11 Lies, Volume 5. I haven't gotten to this one yet, but I'm very excited because shit's going on with this character, who is definitely the character archetype that I tend to gravitate towards. So, best girl maybe? We will see. I'm sorry that the lighting is like ass down here, but I don't want to stand. I am so tired. Next up we have Dream and Sun, Volume 6, another manga that I haven't gotten into yet, but I'm going to get into it soon. You're going to realize that I don't have a lot of, like, things of actual, like, interest to say about any of these. I'm just here to show you the shit that I bought, yo. Next up we have, Flying Witch, Volume 5. I absolutely adore this manga. It's just a good manga if you just want to relax and sit and read, and you don't feel like concentrating on like a story or like using your brain to a high capacity. It's just a good manga to just sit and read and relax. It's very relaxing. It's very nice. Next up we have Imperfect Girl, Volume 3. Surprisingly ends on a good note. I was expecting like the worst ending to happen after all the events that occurred. But surprisingly, Imperfect Girl ends on a very happy note, and I'm very happy about that. My heart really appreciated. My Kokoro is in deep appreciation of that having happened. Next up we have just a bulk of something, and that is Monster Collection, Volumes 2 through 6. I ordered Volume 1, but it is not here yet. But otherwise, this is the complete series. I was just really interested because it looks like an action-adventure manga with a female lead, and that is very interesting to me, and I can't wait to get into this one. I'm just waiting for Volume 1, and we can dig into this shit. Next up, I bought Angel Dust Neo, because I bought Angel Dust and I figured I might as well pick up Neo. Worst decision of my life. Angel Dust, for as rushed as it was like average. It was a solid coming-of-age story. If it had been broken up into like 1 or 2 or 3 other volumes, it would have been fine. Angel Dust Neo is an unfinished harem story that leaves a lot of plot threads unfinished by the end, and you are left wanting and wondering what the fuck, because it's the end, it's over, that's all there is, and I'm mad, because I thought this was gonna like continue on from Angel Dust. No. You see the main character from Angel Dust once, and you think that she's going to have some significance, but like most things that seemed really interesting and cool about this manga never come to pass because it just fucking ends. I want to fucking end. Next up we have DG Carrot, Volumes 1 through 4 of the Viz release. These are just fun little anthology series about DG Carrot. Kogadumbo appears like once or twice in these, but otherwise it's by a bunch of different artists. I had Volume 1 in my youth, and remembered this month at some point that I owned it, and I just had a rush of nostalgia, and I had to pick up Volume 1 as well as the others that Viz published. I don't know if they published any more, but this is all I was able to find. But yeah, I'm really interested in just picking up all the DG Carrot stuff of yore, because I sold them all a long time ago, and it's all like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. But yeah, my life now is just collecting all the manga that I've sold back in the day. Next up we have Gals, which is a series by CMX, so we got more of that fucky CMX spine shit going on, which was the same with Monster Collection. But I got this one purely because I love the artwork. It's absolutely adorable and cute. This is a 10-volume series, I do believe, and the only thing that's going to be a little difficult about this is that Volumes 8 and 9 are a little on the expensive side. Nothing unobtainable. They're like $20, $30, so it's not too hard to get. It just might take a little while, a little saving, but other than that, I'm going to try and complete this series because it's such cute, fun, hip artwork, and I love it. Hip. Next up we have Volume 8 of 7th Garden. The volume before what I just found out recently came before this awful hiatus this series is still on in Japan. So I don't fucking know when or if we're even going to get Volume 9. Which is unfortunate because I fucking love this series, and it's going to be a real damn shame if this is all we're going to get. Next up, I got Kenka Bancho Otome, Love's Battle Royale Volume 1. This is going to be a 2-volume series, and I picked it up mostly because I just liked the cover, because I'm a simple monkey person, but it appears to be a gender-bender manga about a girl who winds up having to attend an all-boys school, where a lot of fights tend to break out, but it's okay because she can kick some ass. And honestly, I like my shoujo when the heroine can literally dish it out, so very excited about that one. Very nice. Next up we have A Centaur's Life, Volume 14. a lot of this manga is actually, like, stories from, like, a war zone, which is crazy. And I wonder if, like, the ongoing, like, actual real-life war that's happening in the universe of Centaur's life is going to interfere with the lives of these girls going just to school and just having everyday school adventures, because that'll be, like, the ultimate what the fuckery for this series, for sure. Next up, I bought the rest of the volumes of Bunny Drop that I was missing, so now I've completed the series, and I know that no one likes Bunny Drop, actually. I know that shit happens in Bunny Drop that nobody likes, and I know that people just are just very adverse to it, very grossed out by it. I am very aware. You don't have to leave a comment about how you don't like Bunny Drop. I am very aware that no one likes Bunny Drop. But I have it, and I don't care. Next up we have To Your Eternity Volume 4, which confirmed my worries that the series was going to make me sad, because oh boy did Volume 4 make me sad. Oh shit, did my Kokoro break for this volume, for sure. I can't wait for the next series of people for the main character to meet an unfortunate end, and for me to just cry. Next up we have Volume 5 of Spirits and Cat Ears, which is pretty much just a filler volume. These tend to happen in this sort of genre, I guess, where they'll stop like all like the actual like plot and story and action and stuff to have a volume where all the characters just kind of faff around for a volume. There is some actual development in this one, but for the most part it's just fluff. But honestly, we could use some fluff in our lives. We could use just some cute fluff in our lives, and I appreciate it. Next, we have Magical Girl Raising Project Volume 2, which is complete. A manga that I enjoyed solely based off the fact that I enjoyed the light novel. A lot of people tend to think that this manga is very uninteresting, and not really for them. I liked it because I enjoyed the light novel, and I am glad that I picked it up. Just more additional content for the light novel that I enjoyed. Next we have Takane and Hana Volume 2. I haven't read this yet, but I'm excited to. I enjoyed Volume 1, despite the fact that there is a huge age gap between the two main characters. This is like a 10-year age gap, and the main heroine is in high school, and that's a little weird. I mean, it's a shoujo manga. I don't think they're gonna, like, fuck or anything, but it's still a little questionable. It's still really weird, but whatever. Next we have the final volume of Assassination Classroom, and I can't wait to binge the whole series and enjoy the series as a whole in just one long sit. And I don't even have to say it. You know I'm gonna make like the Viz please publish Majin Tante Naga Minero rant. I don't have to. But just insert I Want Majin Tante Naga Minero by Yusei Matsui here. Next up we have Silver Spoon Volume 2. This is a really neat manga. There's a lot of cool shit in here that is actually like factual, because the author Hiromo Arakawa actually grew up on a dairy farm. So she has all these like high octane, high energy, very action adventure-y series like Fullmetal Alchemist and the Heroic Legend of Arslan. This is more down to earth and based off her experiences, and it's just really cool and interesting. It's a fun read. Next up we have Spirit Circle Volume 3. I haven't gotten into this one yet either, but I'm very, very excited to, because Spirit Circle is an excellent series if you haven't gotten into it yet, and I highly recommend if you haven't, because it's good. It's very good. Next up we have Magical Girl Apocalypse Volume 14. Just more balls to the walls, crazy, insane action, and a redemption arc for a character that I never would have expected, because he's literal fucking trash, and honestly, we could have all lived without him, like, suddenly having a redemption arc, and him suddenly being, like, a good person. Like, God. If you've read Magical Girl Apocalypse, you might know who I'm talking about, you know, the fucker. Next up we have today's Cerberus, Volume 8. Surprisingly, they released Volume 7 last month, but here's Volume 8. So I wonder why the sudden speed up of the volume releasing. I wonder what that's about. Next up we have There's a Demon Lord on the Floor, Volume 5. I feel like with every passing volume, this series gets raunchier and raunchier. Like, comparing this volume to Volume 1, Volume 1 is absolutely tame as fuck. This one has a high, like, titty count, like, actual, like, nips slipped. So many. Even for this small of a manga, there's just a lot of titty mileage. Just a lot of just fan-servicey schlock. But it's my trash, and I love it, and I'm just very, very happy. Next we have Princess Jellyfish, Volume 8. I'm holding off on reading this one. I'm going to wait for Volume 9, which is going to be the last volume in the series, and then I'm just going to finish it all in one big fun fell swoop. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see how this manga is going to end. Very, very excited. Next we have Rinchan Now, Volume 4, which is the final volume of Rinchan Now. This is just a fun little, a bunch of one-shot comedies about Rin. Just a fun little series. It's definitely a must-buy if you're a Vocaloid fan, because most manga featuring Vocaloids are must-buys for Vocaloid fans. But this, for sure, it's very cute and very lighthearted, and just a good manga to heal with, I guess. Next up we have again Volume 2. I absolutely love this series. I read Volume 1 and I loved it, and I can't wait to read Volume 2. It's an excellent series. Excellent. And I definitely recommend picking it up while it's still short so you can follow along. It's very nice. And speaking of shit by Mitsuru Kubo, we also have Moteki, Volume 1. It is a 2-in-1. Got some cool metallic lettering going on here on the side. Love it. I haven't gotten into this one yet, but it appears to be about this guy, and suddenly a bunch of girls from his past hit him up and they asked to meet. And I guess it's just him I've reached my popularity period. I'm gonna get a girlfriend and shit. But that's just my basic understanding by reading the synopsis. So we're just gonna have to see, and I'm gonna adjust how I'm sitting because my legs are falling asleep. Next up we have Laid Back Camp, Volume 1, which is just another one of those cute girls doing cute things manga, this time featuring camping. The anime came out last season, and now we have the manga. Just fun camping stuff. There's some good actual, legit, camping factoids in this. It's I like manga where it's cute shit, but it has some things that you could actually learn from. Very basic educational content. I like it. I like it. Next up, have you ever bought in a series because it sounds like an absolute train wreck, and you really, really want to watch that train get wrecked? Because that is My Boy Volume 1. I heard it was supposed to be the series where a 30-year-old woman enters a romantic relationship with a 12-year-old. I don't know. I cannot tell you if that's what happens in the future of this series. I cannot warn you about that because I've never read this series before. But from Volume 1, it's just about this woman who encounters this 12-year-old boy and takes on a maternal sort of role in his life because his home life isn't very ideal. And she starts using him to fill a void in her life because she kind of just has her job and then nothing else. And yeah, it's not as gross as I thought it was going to be, but I cannot promise that it's not going to get gross. I cannot promise that that train wreck isn't going to happen. We're just going to have to wait and see. Next, we have Wotakoi, Volume 1, which is a 2-in-1 omnibus. I absolutely love this series. I love series where it's here's two nerds, and there's just a lot of like relatable content in this, especially since there's multiple points where they're obviously playing Monster Hunter. Like, I can definitely appreciate it when a series has two characters obviously playing Monster Hunter. Like, I've played Monster Hunter too. I relate. I don't know why, I just love that shit. I eat that shit up. Next up we have Though You May Burn to Ash, Volume 1. And you wouldn't think it by looking at the cover of this angel girl exposing like half her ass to the cover. But this isn't an ecchi series. I mean, there is fan service to a point, but it is not the focus of the series. This series is a high-stakes gambling manga, where the characters literally gamble with their mortal lives. And there is a lot of points in this series where there is hyper gore. Like, there's like a scene where somebody literally melts and their organs just fall and their melted flesh falls all over the floor. There's another scene where a character gets their fingers cut off in order to get more money to gamble with. You wouldn't think that by looking at this manga, aside from the fact that there's dice. But yeah, this is not a fun fan service manga. This is a high-stakes gambling manga where fingers are literally cut off. So, just a thought, just a little warning. The angel butt's a distraction from the actual scene. Next up, we have Aho Girl, A Clueless Girl, my favorite dumbass comedy. I love this kind of shit. I eat this shit up. It's not everyone's cup of tea, it's not everyone's favorite, but this is definitely my kind of screwball dumbass comedy. And I love it. Love it a lot. Next up we have 1 Week Friends, Volume 2. I can't really say much about 1 Week Friends. It's a good series and I enjoy it and I want to continue picking it up, but there's not a lot I can say about it. It's just a cool manga because it's like it breaks up all its like comedy elements into 4-koma, but then it's all its dramatic elements into actual like comic format. I really like that and it's really cool. I really like that format. Next up we have Cardcaptor Sakura, Volume 3. I haven't gotten into this yet, but I'm very excited. I love Cardcaptor Sakura, and I love Clamp's work overall. So yeah, I can't wait to dig into this one. Next, we have the final volume of Hatsune Miku Future Delivery. This is a very short series, only 2 volumes long. So yeah, we've gotten the merciful end of the stick on the Vocaloid stuff, because they haven't broken past 4 volumes on any of the stuff that's come out yet. So all the Vocaloid manga is pretty easy to collect. Next we have something that I've sort of like I've been very back and forth about getting, because I kept on seeing it at Second and Charles and I kept on putting it down because it's cringy, I don't like it, it's cringy. But then I was all like, you know what, fuck. Bring some cringe into your life. Accept the cringe. You know, it builds character or whatever. But honestly, I don't care about the cringe. I don't care if it's cringy to collect this, but I decided to finally pick it up, and that is Princess I Ultimate Edition, which is just the 3 volumes collected into a single book. The sequel series, which is Prism of Midnight Dawn, never got finished. Tokyopop has the ability to, but, or maybe they don't, I don't know. I thought they still had the licensing rights to Princess I, but they have not. It still sits at 2 volumes incomplete, so we're going to hold off on that. We're just going to accept Princess I as a complete story, and we're going to pretend that a sequel doesn't exist. Next up, we have Dead Dead Demons Destruction, which is the new Inyo Asano manga, hot off the hype heels of Goodnight Poon Poon. I am very excited for this series. I cannot wait for this series to go on. Need more Inyo Asano in our lives. Definitely very excited. I remember when they announced that they were going to start publishing it, and I was so hype. So hype. Next up, we have the elder sister-like one, which is thin as fuck, by the way. It is tiny. It is very small. But I got it because I thought it was going to be very fan-servicey, and I honestly thirst-bought it. I was very horny on Maine. I just wanted some titty. But, I mean, there's some very light fan-service, like, things in this manga, but for the most part it's about this boy who accidentally summons a demon and asks her to act as his older sister, and it turns out that he hasn't had the best home life. He's bounced from like home to home after the death of his parents, and it turns out that he is a very awkward, shy, very quiet child that no one really liked because he was just weird and no one could really understand him because he can see spirits. So he's like Chisei from the Ancient Magus's Bride. But yeah, this, like, it's not like on the same level of like, oh my sweet alien, where it's all like, there's alien titty, but it's the sweetest fucking thing in the world. But it's got some legitimately, like, nice, heartwarming moments in here. And yeah, this was honestly a surprise. I was expecting, like, top titty, like, experience, but I actually got, like, this nice story about this boy who winds up getting the family that he always wanted but never got from signing, like, a deal with the devil. Next up, I found this early in my local bookstore. I just found it. These tend to come out a lot earlier than when they're actually supposed to, and that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Volume 7. Stardust Crusaders specifically is supposed to end in like 10 volumes. I mean, it's supposed to be 10 volumes long, so we only got 3 more volumes to go, and I'm very, very excited, because then after that, Volume 4, Part 4 is coming out, which is, personally to me, superior to Stardust Crusaders, so we're just along for the ride until Part 4. We're just waiting for the good JoJo content. Next up, oh shit, I know I don't normally collect Japanese manga, because I cannot read Japanese. It would just be looking at pretty pictures, and I'm not the biggest fan of doing so, but I really wanted to pick this up because it blew up on Tumblr. Like, a lot of scans of the original, like, comic from Twitter were posted to Tumblr recently, and it was just an absolutely beautiful story, so heartwarming. I had to buy it when I heard that there was a physical release, and that is, it's Oji-sama Toneko, which is about this very attractive older man, and he, like, before, like, the manga begins, he actually loses his wife. You wind up learning that he's, like, been widowed, or he's the widower. I'm getting this mixed up, I'm stupid. But anyway, he's lost his wife recently, and he decides to, like, fill the void in his heart, and he goes to the pet store and buys, like, the biggest, fattest, ugliest, most unloved cat in the pet store, and he showers this cat with the most affection possible. He absolutely loves this ugly cat, and this ugly cat loves him, and it is heartwarming and touching as fuck. And my deepest hope is that we actually get it here in the States, because it's gotten very popular online, so I wonder if publishing companies here in the West are eyeing it at all. I really hope so, because I love Oji-sama Toneko. So, if you have the ability, go find it and read it, because it is absolutely touching as fuck. And next up, finally, we have a box set, which is something I've never bought until now, but this was a gift. This was a gift from my husband for my birthday, and out of all the box sets that are out right now, this was the most logical choice, because it had the most number of women who could kick my ass and send my entire body to hell, and I would thank them. And that would be the Claymore Complete Collection box set. All 27 beautiful volumes, and the forbidden art book that I cannot show you the inside of because there are titty in there. But yeah, we got the whole set of Claymore in this very nice, beautiful box set. Absolutely wonderful. Very, very excited. I've read like the first 9 volumes. Very, very hype. Love it. Very, very happy to own this series. And yes, we are finally done. I filmed this. I don't have to film it again. We've done it, lads. And I will see you all in the next video, which hopefully won't be as long and hopefully won't be the result of like multiple other videos that I had to like not do. But yeah, until next time, I will see you all later. So, goodbye.